Hey, John, it's Andrew. Thanks so much for reaching out via text and planning lunch today. Looking forward to that. I just wanted to give you kind of a glimpse into what makes us as a company a little bit different and give you some recommendations. Whether we work for you or not, obviously we're happy to. We would love to do that, and I see a lot of things that we could do for you. But I really just want to be able to support you and maybe just take some of that pressure off. Even if you take this video and give it to somebody else, totally fine. Here to help. Like I said, I like to geek out, especially about SEO. And so, if you ever have any marketing questions or just need something to bounce, somebody to bounce something off of, there's new, exciting stuff all the time that's shiny, and I can kind of review that for you and our experience. So, like I said, really at the core of our marketing. I love your website, by the way. It's fun. It's fantastic. So if I get distracted, I apologize. What makes us different is that we put SEO at the center of our strategy instead of like Facebook funnels or something like that. As I went through, I did take a look I saw one of your competitors. This is one of their Facebook ads. And we can go through, we can look at all of your competitors and what they're doing on Facebook. It really, I mean, this is dime a dozen. Everybody's doing these, and so we like to go a little bit different direction. Like I said, we put SEO at the center of our marketing strategy instead of like social media or something like that. It's important to do social media, but more as a support to SEO. And so what I would tell you is you're definitely lacking on a lot of SEO things. I did a quick search. This is the number of keywords that you are ranking for. You can see brightdentistry.com. This is the number of keywords that you're ranking for is steadily decreasing. So the number of keywords, and this is broken out in what position they are. Back in 23, June, July of 23 is when you were ranking for 818 keywords. Not a lot. You can see, top 3 and then top 4 to 10. That's generally page 1, but you can see how those numbers have gone down quite a bit, especially in just totals. So that's clearly indicating some issues, and you're not getting as much organic traffic. With our SEO campaign and strategy, we focus on it's really a comprehensive SEO strategy where we focus on technical work on your website and the back-end code of your website, and then content. We write a lot of SEO content. SEO content is very different than what you might write and send to your past patients in a newsletter or something like that. This is very specifically written for Google. And then the third thing is your local SEO, working on your Google listing. This is one of them, and I'll talk to you about these updates that I mentioned when we had dinner. So I'll kind of talk through that. I just want to kind of give you a glimpse, kind of tip of the iceberg on each of those 3 categories: technical, content, and local. One of the first things that Google looks at is how fast your site loads. You can go here. This is a Google tool. It's free. Page Speed Insights. We can put your URL in, and Google's going to analyze it and give us a lot of different scores. Primarily, we're looking at the performance score on people's phones, because that's the majority of people are going to find you on their phone, and so we want to know how that's functioning. Google wants to put the highest performing websites in front of people, so if you have a poor score, it's going to impact your ranking. Now that takes a couple minutes, so we'll come back to it. We're going to right click on your site. We're going to hit inspect. Under filter, we're going to go to Control F, and we're going to look at the H1 string. Now you only want one H1 on each page of your site. That's best practices. That's what Google wants to see. In that H1, we want to be super clear and boringly clear about what you do and where you do it. You do dentistry in Colorado Springs, or best dentist in Colorado Springs. That's a great H1. That's fantastic. The problem is we've got multiple H1s. So bright is better. Nobody's searching for bright is better near me. Cosmetic, it doesn't even say cosmetic dentistry. I'm not telling you to change anything on your site. I'm just talking about technically what Google's looking at. What we want is the H1 to be best dentist in Colorado Springs. Bam, that should be the one H1, the only one on the site. And we've got surgery, we've got all these things which are great, which actually should be H2s. Still instead of H1. So again, I'm not talking about design. I'm not telling you to change any content currently. It's just we want to make sure that this best dentist in Colorado Springs is the only H1 that you have. Currently, you have 8. So we're causing some conflicting information to Google for best practices. So it's impacting your ranking. Now we're going to look at H2s. You can have tons of H2s. You can have lots of H2s. They can be longer. That's where you're going to talk more about your specific services in your H2s. So as we go down, we were just looking at that where you've got cosmetic dentistry, general dentistry. Now we want to add dentistry in there because we don't want Google to be confused. So these would all be great H2s. Veneers, teeth whitening, contouring, chip repair. H2s are great. We can set up, this is a perfect example, we can make this an H2 and we can make these H2s without impacting the font size. If you've ever worked on websites or you've ever looked on the back end, if you set it as an H2, it changes the font size. That's just a preset. We don't have to do that you're not locked into that. There's a lot of SEO juice with your H1, one H1, and then H2s, and that goes for each page of your site. When we write content for you, title needs to be H1, and it needs to be boringly clear. And I tell everybody this, that keep in mind, clarity is better than cleverness. You still want to be memorable, but you don't want to be so clever that you put yourself out of get into confusion in people's minds. So that's really important. The other thing I would say, this is a side note, is that the best marketing strategy is an all-encompassing strategy. It's a full service, right? You're going to have traditional things. You're going to do some TV, do some radio, but then you're going to focus a lot on digital. In fact, you should focus more on digital because you can leverage your cost more. You can target people better. If it's about impressions, take for example, and this is not related to SEO, but take for example, if I get impressions on the interstate, you've got a billboard, you're going to have every Joe Schmo, on the planet driving by. And so what's the percentage of actual ideal new patients? Well, it's certainly not 100%. Versus, like, let's say a Facebook, Instagram ad where we're targeting and trying to send people to the website, education-wise. Hey, check us out. We do things differently. And we can target very specifically. We can target specific parts of Colorado Springs. We could target the Broadmoor. We could target, Briargate. We could do, out Interquest, Flying Horse. We can target very specific areas. And then with Facebook algorithms, we're going to hone in on that even more. It's fantastic. Honestly, meta algorithms are amazing for ads. So just kind of keep that in mind. We don't do any traditional. So we don't do TV or radio or billboards or anything like that. I'm not saying it's not good because it's good to get that brand awareness. But those traditional things can be so expensive compared to what we can do on a digital level. When I talk about digital, I'm talking about, on people's screens. People are spending so much time on their screens, so we want to hit them at different levels. So SEO is good. People are searching, and so it needs to be the focus of the marketing strategy, but we want to support that with Facebook and Instagram ads, and we want to focus on Google ads as well. I call that the trifecta. Those are the best 3 platforms to grow your practice. If you put the majority of your effort into those 3 platforms, you're going to outperform traditional postcards or billboards or those kinds of things. And honestly, TV, radio is so expensive. Excuse me, by the way. Okay, back to technical SEO. So remember, technical, content, local, there's 3 categories we're looking at. Let's look at your site performance. You have a very poor score, 45 out of 100 performance score on people's phones. It's a little better on desktop, still some issues, but this is most of the people are going to find you on their phones. It's taking about 15.3 seconds to load on people's phones. You can scroll down, you can see the issues here. I saw that you had a WordPress website, which is great. We prefer WordPress. If we build you a site, we're going to build it on WordPress. I don't think you need a new site. I'm not saying that, as long as you own your site. I know a lot of marketing agencies, you have to pay them for the site. As soon as you leave them, you don't get the site. So you'll definitely want to check on that, or you probably already know. You want to own your own site. You want to own everything. If we worked for you, we work with all your platforms. Any work that we do, you keep forever. We don't do contracts. We just go month to month. We don't have any setup fees or anything like that. And really, I do recommend, whether it's us or somebody else, really focusing on that trifecta. And so if you do talk to another SEO company, make sure you ask them, what are you doing each month for technical, content, and local? So let's dive into content. Content is king when it comes to SEO. Google loves content. So it's easy for us to think, okay, people are just scrolling, they're not going to read everything, let's really minimize the site, which is fine from a user experience level, but is horrible for Google. Google is a beast for content, and so we want to feed the beast, but then balance the user experience. So we still want it needs to be very skimmable, but we want to make sure we feed the beast with a lot of good content that's SEO driven. So SEO content. What we do is we create content silos. Up at the top, you're going to have a services page. So for example, so you can see general, cosmetic, surgery, Invisalign, right? So we want to make sure those pages have at least 900 to 1100 words of content. We want to repeat the keyword at least 7 to 9 times in a very natural way, not a forced, we don't stuff keywords or anything like that. And you want to make sure your content's not just AI written content. You can use AI, it's a good starting point, but Google knows if it's AI content. And in a day where content is just a dime a dozen, right? ChatGPT is pumping out content like crazy. It's easy to stand apart with your content. We have a whole team of content writers. We want to have human content for humans. Google values the higher level of content. And so that's what we focus on. So then we've got content silos. So you got services page, and then we write specific blogs within that category. So let's take cosmetic dentistry, for example. We've got that page, and then we're going to write blogs. We determine what to write based on keyword research. What are people searching within the cosmetic dentistry category in Colorado Springs? We don't care about Phoenix. We don't care about Orlando. We care about Colorado Springs, and we can see what people are searching for. And then we're going to write blogs specifically to support that, and then we'll add surfer links so people can surf within that. So for example, I took a look at your blogs. They're too short. They don't talk about Colorado Springs in it. It's important that you tell Google, so just a big general overview, SEO is telling Google what you do and where you do it. You do dentistry in Colorado Springs. You do cosmetic dentistry in Colorado Springs. You do surgery dentistry in Colorado Springs, or whatever the keyword would be. And so that's that content that we write. Now, our base SEO program includes 2 pieces of content a month. I highly recommend more. We have a doctor down in Florida, and they do pediatric endocrinology, so hormones, growth, issues, those kinds of things. And we are killing it for them because we're doing 10 blogs a month for them. And we are just knocking it out of the park, and they are growing exponentially, leaps and bounds, because of our strategy of putting SEO at the center and then Google ads, Facebook, and Instagram ads. And I don't believe they're doing any traditional marketing. No postcards, no billboards, no TV. They're just killing it, and they're actually expanding into women's hormones and just growing exponentially with that as well. So a little self-promotion there. But again, whether you hire us or not, these are things that you need to focus on, is getting that SEO really up to par with. We got the technical things on the back end. We got content that you need, consistent content. And keep in mind, Google doesn't want to see a perfect website. Google wants to see an improving website. Seeing that you're adding content, seeing that that we're making technical improvements and changes. And the third thing is seeing that we're working on your Google listings. We need to work on your Google listings. You need to work on your Google listings every month. And there's 2 things that you can do every month. First, well, 3 things. All your reviews, you want to respond to them, which, by the way, 5 stars with 1440 Google reviews, it's fantastic. That's fantastic. Make sure you're responding to each one of them. Google wants to see that you're using the platform. Use it. Respond to those. And then you can write and answer your own questions. So you've got questions and answers. So we've got these questions right here. You can ask a question, and then you can answer it. It's a great way to get in a lot of that local SEO. And then the third thing is these updates right here. Let's see if you had any updates. So this is 4 or 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago. And so we want 4 of these at least a month. These are really specific for local SEO. Rarely do people see these. This is not like a social media thing where we're trying to get a bunch of engagement. We want Google to see what you do and where you do it. And this is a great way to get in some of those niche specific topics. Hey, we do double whitening. We do teeth whitening in Colorado Springs. We do Preventive precautions, again, emergency dental near me. And so that's fantastic. So things that we can tap into that go along with our content strategy. Like I said, I get a little geeky about this. With these, actually, you can use photos. You can use stock photos. You can use Canva graphics. You can use photos that you take. And I talked about this a little bit at our dinner. You can geotag these photos. So you're going to find the geotag, or the latitude and longitude of each of your locations. And then you want to stamp that into the back-end code of any image that you use. And that goes for your website as well. Again, we want to tell Google what you do and where you do it. For example, let's say you guys go to the beach. Say you're in Maui. Somebody takes your photo, family photo, and you want to use it on your marketing and your Google listing. Great, and you should. Having that authentic family feel is really good. The photos on your website are top-notch, so good. You just want to make sure that you restamp the geotag, because probably it's stamped with that Maui latitude, longitude. So we want to restamp it to make sure that Google knows we want to help people in Colorado Springs. You don't even have to stamp it with your office location. Normally that's what we would do. But if you wanted to target, say, the Broadmoor, and you could use the geotag of the Broadmoor. You could use the geotag of Flying Horse or Cordera, or wherever you want to target. But normally, for really mainly, we just target with your office locations as well. So we got technical. Definitely need to work on the site load speed and mobile performance. Definitely have some issues there. Might need a new hosting company, might not. It just kind of depends. Want to work on your H1s and H2s. You want to make this the only H1. No more H1s. Change all those other ones to be something else. And then H2s, you need a lot of H2s, talking about your the services that you offer, conditions that you treat, what people would be searching. I really highly recommend adding cosmetic dentistry. I know, that would mess with the design a little bit, but honestly, totally worth it. So cosmetic dentistry and H2, veneers, H2, teeth whitening, all of those as H2s. We want to make sure we talk about Colorado Springs in some of your content as well. We also want to create those content silos I talked about, and then focusing on your Google listing. So both of them. I think you have 2 Google listings. So asking and answering your own questions, responding to all reviews, and then doing those updates at least for a month are going to be fantastic. When it comes to SEO, SEO is horribly slow. It is awful. It's just awful, right? It takes time, and that's why we like to support that with Google ads and Facebook and Instagram ads. Now, the ads are going to be very different than what you see here. So we got Smile, COS Dentistry. I didn't see any that you guys are doing. They've got the special offer, and that's okay. But right now, it just goes to the contact page, which isn't good. It should at least go to the home page. Or it can be much more niche specific. Right now it's just like, here's our business, come and we've got a $99 offer. Great. But we're just going to the contact page. People are going to lose interest very quickly. It would be better, especially with Google ads, we create a specific landing page. So we would do a campaign maybe about cosmetic dentistry, and then we'd have a landing page about cosmetic dentistry, and giving them the opportunity to either fill out a form or to call, and then we can track those conversions. So that's the trifecta. So SEO, Google ads, Facebook and Instagram ads. We also do email campaigns, graphic design, all of those things. This is just kind of give you some insight into things that you need to be aware of as you're thinking about, okay, we really need to hone in on what's working better, and really, if the traditional marketing isn't working for you, I would pare that way down. I don't think I would totally get rid of it, but I'd pare it way down and really put your money more towards SEO, Google ads, Facebook and Instagram ads. We'll talk to you soon. Maybe you didn't get a chance to watch us before our lunch. It's no problem. We can talk more. All right. Thanks, man. See ya.